Hey everybody, 420 Jim here. I'm going to have to do a little recap here on these videos, okay? This is one of 7. It's just by the grace of the Lord above that I have these calls. And the calls are in one-party states. Scott Winslow Albert lives in a one-party state. Rhonda lives in a one-party state. And I live in a one-party state. And boom, we can record our calls. And fortunately, someone else records their calls like I do. Well, I have this guy named Scott Winslow Albert that acts like he is the best, most wonderful vet in the world, which we have a lot of wonderful vets. And anyone that serve, I love them, and they're our veterans, of course. But we do have good and bad in everything. And it just so happens I run across one of these vets. I've never done any wrong to him. Everything he says is a lie. And if you just go back and watch videos and stuff, get on my timeline, or just listen to him over these 7 different calls contradict himself and stuff, you'll find out that what I'm talking about is true. Now, these are in no certain order, and this first one happens to be where he took it upon himself to have the Howard County Healing Fields in Indiana go against me, saying that I was asking vets for donations. That's a lie. Saying that I attacked one of the older vets. That's a lie. Everything that he tells us Healing Fields is a lie. But he also puts them on the line because he says the president says a few things, and he says that the secretary for the president broke bylaws by talking to him when he wasn't a member. So please pay close attention to this, because me and the Healing Fields, all I want to do is sit down and have a talk, which they wouldn't do with me before. Now, are we going to do it this year with a judge or what? I'd rather just talk to them and them see how this guy does nothing but lie. You'll see that by the end of this.
Okay, Rhonda, yeah, you don't need to look for Healing Fields videos. Actually, the one that you sent me was good enough. I'm going to have some fun.
Introductions. That's Scott Winslow Albert that goes by LEPAGE. Now, what all started this was months before him outside my motorhome yelling at me. Now, he's trying to convince this lady, Rhonda, all these bad things that I'd done to him, his ex-wife, and the vets and stuff. I mean, he pours it on to her and whatnot. She's the lady that hit me with her car in Topeka, the one that chased me down and all, which you'll find more and more and more about that. Well, they fooled her. They wrapped her in with all these lies. And now she's come forward. She's the one that sent me these conversations. It plainly says to Rhonda. Well, Rhonda had a change of heart, and she wanted to tell the truth and has come forward. So this is his own witness that he used against me and stuff, coming forward to say, no, he's a liar. Please put this out there. He's nothing but a liar. He fooled me. I'm sorry I done this to you. I will stand up in court. So, take it for what it is. I serve the Lord. Tape number 6, you're going to hear this guy say he don't even believe in Jesus. So, for whatever it is. But he's a vet, remember?
Fun with that one tonight, I think. Here's the thing. Because Steve asked me about Healing Fields, and man, that was like an hour and a half long conversation. There was a lot. Jim come out with this voice of the vets and Healing Fields and blah, blah, blah. And, at the time that he was doing this, Shirley and I were watching the videos going, wait, this guy belongs to a Vietnam veterans organization, and they're talking about me and my service like this. I mean, he really truly had vets looking for me. I understand now that it was Bryson that was making comments, and
okay, now I misspoke when I made this earlier and said that I didn't have people looking for him, vets looking for him. I'll take that back. I didn't have her looking for him. But yes, Robin wanted to find out who was making the complaints. See, the Healing Fields, me not being a vet, wouldn't tell me nothing, even though I was a member. And their bylaws says they can't discuss things without members, but I was a honorary member or associate member. I paid my money. Well, anyhow, that's all Rhonda wanted to do. He's going to lie and say she wanted his records and stuff. The Hillenfields don't have his record and stuff. I mean, that's just sounds crazy nonsense. She was trying to find out if I did get a refund. Where did they send it to? Because to this day, I've never received one penny. And they say that they sent it. Well, obviously, they sent it to someone, or they've gotten their check back. Am I not entitled to that? Okay? But that's just a small part. This is just proving what a liar he is. And we'll get to the other part in a minute.
Thing is, see, Jim knew that wasn't me. Jim knew from the beginning that that wasn't me. Jim's known from the very, very get-go that I'm not the one. That's why, Shirley and I think that's why they're not mentioning my name anymore, because...
Nope. I know it was him. And he admits in another tape that he was using another account. He admits that he's been in this all along. Now, there is some things that he acts sneaky on, like the eBay thing. He says that I said I have a paper that eBay gave me with his IP. I've never made that statement. That's why he can't find the video. And he asked this lady to find that video. There's no such video. I said eBay knows the address that it came from. Not that they gave it to me, and not that it was Woody LePage or Scott Winslow Albert. I never said a name. He could have used anybody's IP address or computer. See, he's not thinking.
Now that Bryson's come out, he can't do it. He's trying to just kind of let it go away. It ain't going away. So anyways, I contacted HCVVO.
Now look, he said now that Bryson come out, I'd let everything go, right? Well, why did he contact the Howard County Hillenfields? Because obviously at this point, he said Bryson come out. He knew Bryson was pretending to be him, which is a big part in this. The trucker, which you'll hear in these other tapes, him talking about Bryson and the friends that they are and stuff. But right there, he just admitted to that.
Okay, I found them. I looked them up. I realized they were a legit organization. They're right up here north of me. I've never heard of them before. They're about 95 miles north of me in Kokomo.
Here's a vet that's never heard of the Howard County Hillenfields ever before in his life, and he lives there within 100 miles. I never heard of him, but yet Jimmy Shaw, the MC at that time, gets a hold of me when I was on my way back from Washington, D.C. and says, please come to the veterans event. We need you here. And I'm like, I'm not a vet. And he says, no, we want you, your cannabis, your dog, everything. Here, please come. And in honor of the vets, I did. Remember that name, Jimmy Shaw. Remember Bill Levin, First Church Cannabis, his ex Desiree, and he also mentioned Terry or something like that, the old owner of High on the Hill. Keep those names in mind.
So I got on the website. I found all the board members. I sent every single one of them a freaking message. I sent every single one of them a message. And I had...
You can just tell in that attitude and voice. I found every one of them board members and sent them a message.
And one board member hit me back and said, you need to contact Jim, the president. The second person that hit me back was their financial secretary. And she was a great lady.
Now, why he's going to say she's a great lady, let me tell you. Because he's going to tell you how, in a minute, his own words, that she's not supposed to give him any information because he's not a member. He hasn't become a member yet or nothing. He even tells her, you don't have to. But he brags about how she went on for an hour and a half, discussing, before he become a member or anything, business that Mr. Prophet, her, or nobody would discuss with me.
I sent some messages. Her and I ended up. She sent me an email, which is what you got. And then
now there's a supposedly email out there from the Howard County Hillenfields, and they sent me a partial screenshot. I don't think it's from the Hillenfields. If it is, the Hillenfields don't know how to spell Vietnam, because there's a misspelling in the copy that I've got. There's a misspelling in the word Vietnam. So I would like this document to go to the Vietnam Veterans Reunion and find out, did they send it or not? Now, we can all make a misspelling, but if they sent this document it makes accusations against me for selling shirts and stuff, begging, donate. None of that ever happened. That's slander. And I got plenty of veteran friends and stuff from that organization. I'm sure will come to court. Okay. And I don't want to do that. I just want to set the record straight on how Mr. Prophet and everybody has been fooled by this liar, Scott Winslow Albert. He never even knew about the healing fields or nothing until he got mad when I called him outside of my motorhome. Months later, he did this.
And when it continued on, we ended up on the phone. Her and I sat on the phone we sat on the phone for about an hour and a half. And talked, and she told me, and I wasn't even a member. She's like, you're not a member. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff with you.
Right from the horse's mouth. You're not a member. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff with you. Wow.
Well, you don't have to. She spilled the beans for an hour and a half. So he went up there. He pissed some people off. So he got up there, and
I have never pissed no one off at that healing fields. There's no videos, there's no complaint, there's no nothing. Okay? Nothing. When the healing fields got pissed off of me, I wasn't even there. I was in Colorado Springs, off the road, trying to retire while Woody did all this and caused all this stink out at the healing fields. I wasn't even there doing nothing.
He was asking for donations. There was an incident. I think Shirley maybe knows a little bit more about it than I do.
Now, Shirley Brogan is his girlfriend. She's not only involved with it, but her daughter's involved with it, according to him later, about a phone call with Corey or something. It's a shame, but when you do this, things come back and bite you. Because I honestly felt bad, thinking that Shirley might not be in on it. But no, I got plenty of proof. She's been in on it all along. But nevertheless, let's go on.
He claims he befriended somebody up there. It was an elderly vet, a guy was in a wheelchair, fixed income, this and that. The guy was in like his 90s. There's something about...
Okay, he says that I befriended someone up there. That didn't happen. He's talking about Mr. Terry Chambers. Very, very honored and respectful vet. And I still honor and respect Mr. Chambers and his family and wish that I never had to speak on this. And like I told Mr. Chambers when he is alive, that I wouldn't make that post about him wanting the camera back. And I respected that, and I never did. Okay? But these people just keep doing this and pouring it in. They contacted the Chambers family. I got screenshots of and stuff, stirring it up, saying, hey, this guy's da-da-da. Well, of course, they're putting it out there. They're bringing it up. I don't bring this stuff up. But how I met Mr. Chambers was they contacted me, just like Jimmy Shaw contacted me about the Veterans Reunion. They asked me to come to an event that Mr. Chambers was doing by a veterans hospital. I heard his story. He's for medical. I'm with you. I was there. The paper did a story and all. Everything was good, great, and fine. Nobody had no problems. Mr. Chambers gave me a camera. Okay? He mentioned maybe wanting to take it back in a message here and there because he wasn't seeing me use it, and he wanted to give it to David Phelps, I think was the guy's name, from the Higher Fellowship, which I had no problem with. All he had to do was say send it to him. Because the year that I wasn't allowed to be there, that next year, I parked outside the gate after I collected my $140 that they charged me. I went, got my money, parked outside the gate, and the next day, somebody had talked to Mr. Chambers. I don't know what they told him. I don't care. They stirred him up, and he wanted to come get his camera back. That he didn't think I was going to use it for good things. That he didn't know that I wasn't just for the fight for medical, and it was going to take away from him and make him look bad. No problem, Mr. Chambers. I said, I'm going to make a post that you wanted the camera back. Because I made the post, he gave it to me, It wasn't to be mean or nothing. It was just a post. He got upset, thinking that it was going to be bad, I guess. I don't know. He literally jumped up out of his wheelchair, and there was 2 other guys there with him. Jumped up out of his wheelchair. You will do no such thing. And I'm like, no, I wasn't going to post on. You ain't going to make. I said, no, sir, I won't make no post. And I didn't. Didn't make a single post about it or nothing. And see, Mr. Chambers, right now, the way he describes him, an old guy, no money, this, that, and the other, would have got out of that wheelchair or his chair and slapped the shit out of that veteran. That's what I think Mr. Chambers would have done, was just, if today Mr. Chambers was alive and heard this coming out of Scott Winslow's mouth and the lies that he's saying, and to stir this up in the healing fields using his name, Mr. Chambers would have slapped the shit out of him. And I 100% believe that.
Jim borrowed a camera off of him, or Jim claimed the guy gave him the camera, but anyways, the guy passed.
Can't even get the story straight. I borrowed it, well, then I claimed he gave it to me.
And people were calling Jim out for using him, right? And the guy, and so Jim's like, no, we were friends, we were buddies, we were best friends, oh no, that man loved me. Well, the man's not here to defend himself. So there's some unanswered questions about Jim treating this guy dirty. The guy's in a wheelchair, he's in his 90s, he's got no money. It's like they know it's his last time that he's going to be able to make it there. And Jim's taking advantage of the guy somehow.
What I am surprised is where he don't tell her, Jimmy Shaw accused me of hitting Mr. Chambers. Of course, everybody knew that was a lie. That's like saying I hit my dog Jack. Jack could tear you up. Mr. Chambers wouldn't let this old hippie hit him in any way, shape, or form. And what does that say about the 2 guys that escorted Mr. Chambers there? Why did they let me attack or get close to Mr. Chambers or something? See, just more of their delusional bullshit. But Jimmy Shaw is the one that says it. So when they say that they've got someone that witnessed me attack Mr. Chambers, the only person that's ever uttered that is Jimmy Shaw, which is nothing but a liar. But he's the MC that first invited me to the healing fields.
So there's some weirdness there.
Not a weirdness.
So, he's up there trying to collect donations. He started some drama up there.
Absolute lie. I never went to the healing fields to collect donations. And if you go to my videos before I go there, I'm always making money to make sure I've got the money to go up there, pay for camping, and support the event. No, I didn't charge the veterans a penny to tag the cannabis. When I'm out on the road, I always ask people for a donation to tag the cannabis. No, none of that happened. Absolute lies. I wasn't allowed to have my T-shirts out. That was absolute lies. I didn't sell T-shirts for donations either. Mr. Prophet said he heard that I was using their name, and I never used their name in any way, shape, or form, other than saying I've been to their event. That's where I was asked to be the voice of the vets at, and that's where this vehicle I'm sitting in right now, the Cannebago, was christened. And that's just facts, and not using their name at all. So how now it's that I was selling shirts and that I was begging donations and causing... How come none of that ever was on none of their pages, none of their sites? Nobody ever talked about that because it never happened. Hang on a sec. Let me get this one going here. He's going to tell you about a veteran named Robin. I never thought that she would turn against me, but there's a reason she had to. She was on the board of directors, and he threatens her. Listen up.
They did not tell him that he was the voice of the vets. Let's get that clear. The organization itself, under no circumstances, has ever recognized 420 Jim as the voice of the...
Never said they have. Never once said they have. Mr. Prophet said at one time something about lawyers and you're going to sue me and whatnot. And I said, go right ahead. Now he's going to say that's why I quit messing with him. No, I quit messing with him because of Robin turning her back on me. But we're going to mess with them this year, and they can bring all the lawyers they want. Or they can simply admit that they listened to a liar and they probably shouldn't have.
Or their organization. There is this got to the point where the 420 Jim called Jim Prophet, the president, got him on the phone, and Jim told him, I got money and I got lawyers. You keep running your mouth about my organization and I'll sue your ass off. And that was it. Jim dropped it. That was it. He was, oh, well, he's just, I don't know why. And then when Jim found out.
But yet they do videos on me all the time about how I'm the sue master, the sue guy. I sue everyone. Does it even make sense that Jim Prophet threatened me to sue me and whatnot, and I shut up? No. I would have said, file the case, tell me when to be there, and I would be there. And I still challenge him to that. The reason I quit calling them or anything is I know that all truth will come to light. And, buddy, it's a-coming.
That he was no longer a member, and that they had allowed me to join the organization. I am a member of HCVBO. Because I sent my discharge papers in. I sent my paperwork in. They signed me up over the phone.
They do that with any veteran. They sign you up over the phone. You prove who you are and whatnot. So it's not like they did anything special. But check it out. He wasn't a member. Now he's a member. Now listen how he throws his weight around.
They signed me up over the phone and gave me my first year free. That's what my military records say. So, my military records are pretty decent. All right, they signed me up over the phone. All right, all Jim has to do is go down to an American Legion and.
Where he gets that, I don't know about anything about an American Legion. The only time I signed up for anything was when I was invited by the MC himself of the organization, Jimmy Shaw, to come there the first year. Then all of a sudden they had a problem, Jimmy Shaw and them being there. And that stirred it up because Bill Levin and them were all upset. Why is this outsider here? Why is his bus here? Why can't we be here or nothing? And it just makes perfect sense. That's why it happened and why Hacksaw wouldn't let me be there. And then I was allowed the next year and then not that. It just all plays in.
Whatever. So anyways, I spent a lot of time on the phone with the financial secretary and then Jim Prophet, the president. He ended up calling me. He was mad. Oh, he was so mad. He was fit to be tied. And he clearly said, this man's not even a vet. He doesn't even understand vet stuff. And he's up here trying to get donations off disabled vet. The video.
I can't wait to get Mr. Jim Prophet in court. That's why it's going to be a personal suit against him and that secretary and the organization. Just small claims. I'm not looking for big money or nothing, but I can't wait to get them on the stand and have them testify that he said that. I don't think Mr. Prophet said this stuff. I don't think the secretary said it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about things in my life, but I'm just playing to you what this guy that went and ran his mouth to them about me, what he's actually saying to incite another lady to be mad at me, basically. And I think he's telling on himself.
That you said, you saw somebody in the comments say, hey, this isn't a party. Well, he's right. It's a very solemn event. It's a very, very solemn event. Death in the military is taken very serious. Okay?
Now, where that part got in, I don't know, and I don't care, but he's playing it off. Yes, it's a very solitary event. It's very sad. They gave their lives. Some gave all, Yes, I've been part of the opening service. I've got the shells from it. Very honored to be the voice of the vets. I take that as one of the most honorable things that will ever come in my life. I mean, if they just understood how much I respected the healing fields and that. And it's just this one guy bringing the shame to them over this. But it is. After the opening ceremony, it's a weekend party. All the moonshine, smelling good stuff, and everything that you care to partake in. Nothing but a bunch of drunks having fun, driving around in golf carts. That's exactly what it is, and anybody that says anything different is a liar. They have bands and stuff. It's great. It's for the vets. It's for them to kick up their heels and party and have all the bands. But to have all the bands and everything, goes to show you that's what it was. That's why I was invited there the first time. It's a big, giant event. It's not sad. It's a celebration. It's a get-together. This guy disgraces the Howard County Healing Fields every time he opens his mouth.
Funerals and things like that. Goddamn. I am an honorary member of the Indiana Honor Guard. I was asked to join the Honor Guard. I know the team, if I showed you pictures of them in uniform, you'd be like, Woody, man, there ain't no way. You know, I got some pretty decorated people that stand behind me. So, you know, Jim doesn't understand that stuff. We have our own world that he will never understand. He doesn't speak for it. Same with the truckers. He's not a trucker. I come from a truck driving family. He doesn't understand. I come from a biker family. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand these things. He's an outsider.
I understand perfectly. And it goes back to what I say. There's good and bad in truckers, cops, vets, the whole 9 yards. I understand perfectly. I understand that Scott Winslow Albert is nothing but a lying vet. You know, I believe in Jesus. I swear everything I tell you in these videos is true. Every word of it. Of course, I believe in Jesus and will swear on the Bible and to my Lord and Savior Jesus. He wouldn't swear to, or it wouldn't matter, because he'll tell you in video 6 that he don't even believe in Jesus. So there's that, you know.
Who thinks he's in? He got, what is that, delusions of grandeur? Is that what that is? Something like that. You know, thinks he's Jesus and walking into a church barefoot, talking, you know, it's crazy. Okay? So what happened was they removed him from the property. They removed him from the property.
Absolute lie. I've never been removed from that property. Never. I was told I couldn't come to the event that one time, but the very next year they said, oh, no. You're more than welcome to come to the next event. And I did.
And, you know, in the email you see he parked outside, just outside the event, where he was a pain in the ass but couldn't stop him. Now, when all this was going on, there's a lady that was coming into Jim's lives. Her name was Robin. I can't remember her last name. She's in there making comments. Oh, you know, I'll find out about him. I'll find out this. I'll do this. I'll do that. Well, I saw that. I'm saying, now see, what I did was, before I even called.
All she wanted to find out was the name of the person that was making the complaint to the healing fields. That's all she wanted to find out, so I could file a lawsuit. That's all she wanted to find out. Nothing about a record or anything. The same thing that I begged Mr. Prophet for and everything. And, you know, had he gave me that information or let her give me that information, we would have already had this in court.
These people, I checked their bylaws. Like I said, I checked the organization out. I found their bylaws. Their bylaws state that any member is not allowed, it is against the bylaws, to make disparaging comments about a member, their family, or any other vet. So even if Jim was a member, once I became a member, I get to have him removed. I'd file a section, file a grievance against him.
Filed a grievance against me and gets to have me removed. Yeah.
Okay? He would have been removed anyways.
I would have been removed anyway.
This organization is for veterans and their immediate family. You know, and they let him in.
Now, back then, when this all was going on, it used to be open to the public. They may have changed it to private now, vets and immediate family only, just because of this. I don't know. Maybe they did. But if they did, that's a shame. And what a disgrace to all the older vets that, you know, I promised I'd be their voice and all. You know, I just want the truth to come forward that, you know, I did nothing wrong at the healing fields, and that we're in good standings, and that I am welcome. And I do have my lifetime membership, that they're going to honor that and all. That's all. Whether I come to the event again or not. I just want everything the way it was supposed to be, the way I was promised when they had me join it and I paid the $150. I don't want nothing else from them than that. But, you know, if it takes taking him to court, here we come, because I can prove this guy nothing but a liar. And I hope Mr. Prophet and that secretary and stuff have time to come into court and say, yes, they said this, or no, they did not say this stuff.
Man, they let him in on a lifetime. Can you imagine that? Having a lifetime membership rescinded within 3 or 2 years.
Yeah, when you got somebody make it their mission in their life to tell lies and have your membership taken away, yeah, I can see that happening real easy.
3 years. Lifetime membership. Didn't last 3 years. That tells you what kind of man he is. Well, you already know what kind of man he is. That tells you, you know, how he was up there. Okay? So, anyways, this Robin chick, I'm like, who the hell?
Oh, he don't mention every day that I'm up there at that event was broadcasted on Facebook Live. And like I say, that's why you don't hear none of the trouble. You don't hear nothing. Every day that I've been at that Howard County Healing Fields, I did Facebook Lives. The only time that anything was out of the ordinary was when Miss Robin, I had to dress her and get her to the hospital and watch her trailer and stuff. But that wasn't on camera. But what was on camera was when Jimmy Shaw tried to accuse me of hitting Mr. Chambers. And I think that's their witness to, and see, that says that they're a real bad organization, because Mr. Chambers come out with 2 men the day that I talked to him and he wanted his camera back. He had 2 men that come out there with him. How dare them men just stand there and let me hit some guy in a wheelchair? And I don't think for 1 second that the Chambers family should believe that, because if they know the man that I do, they know that what I said happened. Mr. Chambers, when he thought that I was going to put something bad about him taking that camera back, which he took the wrong way, if that's what he was thinking, I mean, I don't know. He said, no, sir, you will. And he stood up, you will post nothing. And I'm like, right, sir, I will not. I will not. And there was never a post about it. And I got no reason to lie about that. But that sounds like the Terry Chambers that everyone knows and loves, I bet, more than the way Scott Winslow Albert describes him. You know, no money, 90 years old on his last leg, and just some guy I friended at the veterans event. Is the way he played him, right? I mean, you're listening to the same tape as me, right?
Who is this lady, and why does she think she's going to get copies of my military records? You just don't get copies of my military records.
No one ever said that they were trying to get any military record on this guy whatsoever. So see, all this stuff is lies. Whether he's trying to amp her up more to do what she did to me in Topeka, because like I say, there's more phone calls, the ones where they called Topeka and all. You're going to love the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey says. It all ties in.
You have to be my spouse. You have to be my child. You have to get them from me. You don't just go down and get military records like that. Civilians don't get to do that. So I thought, who in the hell is this chick, and why is she telling Jim she's gonna find out all about me? Well, I called Jim Prophet back, the president, and I said, I just did some research. I said, this lady is one of your board members. Robin just so happens to be a board member of this organization. And she's in Jim's lives, in his comments, talking about how she's going to do this and do that. I'm telling you what, Jim fucking exploded on the phone. He fucking exploded.
I don't think I exploded on the phone. I may have to Robin, and, you know, why are you turning your back on me? She offered, and if you go back and watch these lives and stuff he's talking about, she offered. She couldn't believe that, you know, someone who went to the healing fields and told him that all this happened. She knows the truth. She was just trying to bring the truth to light and find out who was saying this so I could file a lawsuit against them. But the healing fields kept hiding that, so I couldn't find out. So, I mean, that's why when she said, look, you know, I'm going to be cast out from the healing fields, and I can't have that happen. You know, I get to see my friends every year and all. You mean a lot to me and whatnot, but I choose them over you. That's exactly what she, and that's why I never took it with the healing fields beyond that, because all my proof and everything ended at that moment until now. Now, Mr. Scott Winslow Albert never thought we would ever hear the words in these 7 videos that I'm going to make.
He says, I am sorry, I'll take care of this. And he asked me, don't file a grievance, I'll take care of it. I told him I'm a member now. Now I'm a member.
Right there, he says he threatened Mr. Prophet because he's a member about Robin, and then Mr. Prophet bowed down to him and said he'd take care of it. You hear the same thing I heard?
Member, get her taken care of, because this ain't cool. That's highly against the bylaws, and she's an officer. He said, you're right. Now, so her and Jim had a falling out online because Jim was like, well, you said you were going to go get his records, and you said you were going to go do this, and she's like, I can't. says my name one more time, I'm coming up to Kokomo. I will come to a board meeting, and I will stand in front of her. No, Mr. Albright, that won't be necessary. I'll get it taken care of. Thank you. That was it.
Okay, right there he says that Mr. Probert, without, really checking into anything or whatnot, to kiss his ass because he's such a good veteran, he was going to do what he wanted him to do. Wow. I hope he's willing to testify that in the court of law.
That was it. You've never seen or heard from Robin since. She's nowhere to be found. So there's a lot there with Ewing Field. That's where the Jimmy Shaw thing comes in. Jimmy Shaw is the one that invited him up there.
Oh, what? I've been trying to prove that for years because Jimmy Shaw denied it and everything. What was that? Right from the horse's mouth. Jimmy Shaw is the first person to invite me to Healing Fields and convince me to come. And I met his two sons that played in the band that night, and they all tagged the side of the motorhome. Like I say, the first year I was here, I was the most wonderful person they ever met. They treat me really nice and all. It was the next year when they caught all that flack about a newcomer coming into Indiana. And Bill Levin and them, it was bad enough that I was put in the Fountain Square Parade. Yes, and that's how I got hooked up with the First Church Cannabis, High on the Hill, and all the others. They put me in the Fountain Square Parade. I didn't arrange any of this. The Lord did. The man above did. I had no idea they was doing a parade and going to have me put my cannabis in it. Oh, that just flipped Bill and the First Church of Cannabis and them out, because it took a lot of attention away from his church and everything. See, everything ties in. And he'll brag about how he used to be an advocate. He's going to tie Bill Levin, Jimmy Shaw. He's going to tie every one of them into this. Watch.
Because Jimmy Shaw is friends with me, Desi, Bill Levin, Jerry. See, we're all in this group. See, we have our own people here.
Oh, we have this own group. We have our own people there.
This is our group. This is our community. Okay? This is us. This man's an outsider, and he came in and got up into our group, and he had no idea who we were. Bill Levin goes way back. Okay? Desi never lost her kids. I've known Desi for over 25 years. Our kids grew up together. That girl raised 4 kids on her own.
Now that part, I remember Desi, this is back in the day, she was telling me her stove stories and this, that, and the other, how she'd come up. She used to do meth and stuff. She either had lost her kid or almost lost her kid or something like that. And I paid no mind to it because it wasn't none of my business or nothing. And none of that would come out had he not been outside my motorhome yelling and hollering and screaming at me that day, which is what started every bit of this.
No man, no child support. She bought that business off Jerry. And even with Jim fucking with her, she still built that business up to the point that she paid it off within a year. I want you to understand that. Desi bought that business on contract.
Now, he's going to say that I messed with her 2 years. I never messed with High on the Hill. He said I tried to run her business down and all. All that's just flat out lies, blatant lies. I mean, you can just look on the internet and find that. I dare him to prove any of that. He tries to convince Rhonda for 2 years that I did nothing but mess with her and try and have her place shut down and all. He's going to lie and tell you that they tried to set up that event, the one I did for the homeless, that they spent $1,000. Man, there's so many lies I catch this guy in that it's unreal.
And had it paid off in a year. That's how.
Had the business paid off within a year. She certainly did. Okay? And I'm not going to, accuse her of anything. But there's only a couple ways you pay off a business in a year. There's only a couple ways you pay off a business in a year. You don't buy the average smoke shop that's selling, in an illegal state and pay it off in a year. You tell me any other smoke shop it has. It ain't no miracle like that. And I prefer to leave stuff like that But the more they want to go into, the more they dig, the more her ex wants to bring this stuff up and lie, the digger and farther we will go. They forget I've got all kinds of audios and videos that has never been released before. Hopefully they'll get it this time. And the Healing Fields would do the right thing and get me back in good standings with them. I accepted apology from Bryson. One of the trolls you're going to find out in the calls, yeah, he's ready to go to the police and he's on my side. The lady that bumped me with her car in Topeka, yeah, she's the one sending me these calls. She's on my side and all. Remember, those were the ones against me that are coming forward now. And let's continue with the call, shall we?
Hard she fucking worked and busted her ass. Now that doesn't sound like a meth head to me. Desi now owns the house. She's married to another guy. He's a good guy. He treats her very well. Right? Her kids are grown. They're all successful. Hell, one's in the freaking military. Been in the military since the day he left high school. Okay? She's retired now. She sold the business and she retired. And Jim didn't shut her down. Jim put some hurts to her. She got over that. Build his church. Look up the First Church of Cannabis. Wednesday nights they do lives. Every Wednesday night they do a live. Watch one of their lives. Is Bill a goofy fucker? Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, he's a goofy fucker. But he did what he said he was going to do. The man did exactly what he said he was going to do.
That's a lie. Another lie. And that's what put me on the bad side of Bill Levin. Mr. Levin did not do exactly what he said he was going to do. Now, he's going to tell you that Bill Evans said that he was going to open the First Church of Cannabis. Well, that part was true. The lie, and he did in Indiana. That part was true. But he built it on a lie. And that's where the problem came in. Okay? I'm sorry, but I am honest. Okay? I had their First Church of Cannabis on the side window and stuff. I supported them in the beginning. He told me, back when my name was Jim, hey, our opening ceremony, we're going to smoke a joint out here. I'm going to get arrested, and we're going to get it fought in court. Had I known he didn't have the cojones to do that, man, I would have done it in a heartbeat. They was pointing out how they'd put a camera across the street up on the pole, to make sure nothing happened and this, that, and the other and whatnot. And everybody got together and gave him that money and built him that church and all. But it was built on a lie that he was going to light up a joint and go to jail and get the marijuana case in court like me. I went to jail for 2 counts of sales of marijuana. And I took it to jury trial. And I was found incompetent to stand trial. He didn't do a damn thing. He held the joint up. They said, if you like that, we're putting you under arrest. He said, no, I'll take a ticket instead and I'll fight it in civil court. And he lost. How's that not building your whole church on a lie? And I've got Steve Sprague and Scott Winslow Albert out here trying to tell people that I'm a con artist and a scammer. My life's out here every day, and I ain't con nobody out of one penny, and I don't scam nobody out of nothing. Shall we continue?
Like I said, we were sitting outside Highland Hill, sitting on the tailgate of my pickup truck. He said, "What do you want to start church?" First Church Cannabis, and that man went and did it. The entire Indianapolis Police Department, including the chief, came after him. There was a riot out in front of the church the first day of service.
Now, I never heard about the riot. Of course, I wasn't there. Could have been. The only thing I heard was from some disappointed people in Indiana that followed me saying, hey, did you see what happened with Bill Levin? And I'm like, no. Oh, he didn't even, blah, blah, blah. And the mistake I made was when me and Woody's ex, she had told me to come and have this event. I brought $3,000, just left Bud's Creek with $3,000. I mean, all this is provable. She didn't put a penny in. And we were supposed to have an event with the bar mixed in that she went out of. It's crazy. It all gets real crazy, but it ties in.
It's crazy. So he doesn't know who he's messing with. He just doesn't know who he's messing with. At Healing Fields, like I said, he was given a lifetime membership and didn't last 3 years. The voice of the vets.
Now, how does he know this? He admits he didn't know nothing about the healing fields for a couple of years after I'd been there. I'd been a member there and had been to an event before I was a member. So I knew about and had been to the healing fields for a couple of years before he even knew about them.
And I guess the guy just made a comment one time about, you're voice of the vet, and he just latched onto that.
What he don't realize is I don't know how many, I didn't count, but I had vet after vet, family member after family member, Jimmy Shaw family, every one of them loving me. Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming. Yeah, we can't talk about our meds and stuff. They take away our cannabis. They take away our meds and they fuck with our money. We need you to speak up for us and stuff. It wasn't one vet at all. Not one vet at all. There was a lot of them. And that's why I forgive Woody, Scott Winslow Albert. I forgive him with all my heart. I do. But I can't understand why he wants to put down and disgrace all the veterans with his lies the way he is, just because of his ego. When I was asked to be the voice of the best, it's one of the most sacred things I'll ever take in my heart. And no one can take that away from me, no matter what he says or whatever. No, that can't be taken away. Him, he thinks because he was a vet and served, he can just lie, mow over, and it don't care. Like he says, they're vets, I'm a no one.
It wasn't the organization. It's not a group of vets. Matter of fact, there are no vets. Look at it. There are no vets. There are no vets in there that are in his feeds or donating any money or anything like that.
Now, there he says there's no vets in my feed or donating me money or anything, but yet him and Steve, that's all they do, is try and make people think I'm living off of donations and this, that, and the other, which, hell, if I'm out on the road, I put in every penny I make. I put in my retirement. I've always done this, open book. I let people tag the motorhome when I'm out on the road. But I've never told a vet at any veterans event that they had to make a donation. Watch my videos. I'm there. I tell people their service, their being there alone is enough.
Right? It's just not there. So yeah, that's the story behind that. He started all that, and then when I found out, I was like, surely the organization doesn't sanction this, and they don't. It's clearly against their bylaws.
When he found out that I was their blood, he took it upon himself to find their bylaws and stuff. I mean, see, he just admitted to everything right here about how he come against me in this and on this. And to go to lying and all, it's crazy.
So I put the screws to that. See, Jim doesn't understand. There are people like us that are in the background that are actually doing damage to him. Right? He hasn't figured out. He doesn't know that me and Steve did a lot to make things happen or not happen there at Topeka.
Oh, Topeka. Remember Rhonda, the lady that sent me these tapes that I'm going to play? The lady that bumped me with her car in the parking lot at the Walgreens or whatever it was in Topeka, where the cops changed my name on the police report and all? Yeah, that Rhonda. The one he's talking to here on the phone.
He doesn't understand that Steve and I spend days on the phone, making phone calls to the police department, the TV stations, other places.
Now, why would they get involved? Okay, Scott Winslow Albert just admitted that him and Steve's in Rochester, New Hampshire, and he's in Indiana, get involved and be making calls to the Topeka Police Department when they don't know nothing, absolutely nothing. But they're calling the newspapers and the police departments, according to them, and telling them what a scammer and this, that, and the other, and how I set her up and stuff like that. So, in a little bit, you can blame the police department, or you can say, well, the police department was scammed. Well, how do you scam the police department, I admit they didn't like my name, and they believe these people, and he admits how they called in Wait until they hear these tapes. That's going to be a good one. Wait until Rhonda gets in court. That's going to be a real, real good one.
You know, this and that. I think, I joined at least 5 sexual assault Facebook groups just so I could put Corey's comments out there and say.
He joined 5 Facebook groups to mess with a friend of mine named Corey. The only reason Corey got involved was Corey knew that everything he was doing was a lie and stuff. He knew Robin. He was part of the group. He knew that Robin was going to come and get the information of who filed the suit. Corey offered to go and find out himself if need be. We just wanted to find out who done it and wasn't being told. And then that all went sideways and everything. You're going to hear a lot about Corey in the calls and stuff. And you're going to hear how his girlfriend, Shirley Borgun's daughter, got involved with Mr. Corey. And all that's pretty sad, too.
Hey, I need awareness brought to this. Jim doesn't understand that. You know, he doesn't understand. He's going to find out. I promise you, he's going to find out. So I rambled on long enough. That's a healing field story. Okay? That man was never the voice of vets, period. One guy said that to him at a campsite one time, or said it in a comment somewhere, and he latched onto it. As an organization, they do not like him. He's not welcome there. You see the part about Tom not coming. Now, that was something that I had told Jim Prophet, because 420 Jim was talking about, well, I'll just give the cannabis.
He told the president, Jim Prophet, of the Howard County Healing Fields, that I was just going to give the motorhome to Tom, which is a vet. He is a veteran. He was in a tank squadron. And yes, I did give it to him. He ended up giving it back to me after the auction, but that's another whole story and whatnot. Good Lord takes care of his people. If you looked up Tom, wonderful, great guy. Anyhow, what would be wrong if I gave my vehicle to Tom, or if he bought the vehicle? Why couldn't he bring it to the healing fields? That don't make no sense at all. Why would Mr. Prophet tell another vet, oh, I guarantee you that vehicle will never be on these grounds? If I sold the vehicle, what did the vehicle have to do with it? Unless they're getting into touchy grounds about political, marijuana leaves and this, that, and the other. They can't do that. That would be political grounds and stuff. How can they say this vehicle's not a veteran owning this vehicle? And he plainly states that Jim Prophet said, even with Tom owning this vehicle, a vet is not welcome there. I got to hear that from Mr. Prophet's mouth myself. That's why I say I've got doubts in what they say. Because, number one, I've seen a misspelled letter in their so-called letter. Anybody that don't know how to spell Vietnam right, they kind of screwed up. And there's a couple of things that I don't think Mr. Prophet would say. And I'm not going to say the secretary violated any laws and told him anything, because I don't know. He's the one that says that.
But to Tom, and Tom can go up there, and at least the cannabis will be there for the vets. Oh, no. You can clearly see in the...
Now, why would Mr. Prophet have any bad will about the cannabis being up there for the vets if a vet brought it there? Because it don't represent me. It represents the pot prisoners, the movement stuff. It don't represent me. When Tom had this vehicle, Tom had the title. It belonged to Tom.
You can clearly see in that email. That's not happening. And I made sure that wasn't happening. I made sure that not just 420 Jim, but that stinking RV of his didn't set a tire on that property. And it's not going to, and it won't.
Why does he have a personal vendetta against my stinking RV to hit the property and whatnot?
End of that one.
That was the end of that one. So please join me for number 2. I forget what it's about, but it will involve the same Scott Winslow Albert, and it will just prove more and more and more of his lies. And like I say, I just want the truth to come out. And I really would love for someone to tag the Howard County Healing Fields in this. Hey, if you're part of it, one of my friends out in Indiana or whatnot, make sure to tag the right people in this. Get this out to the Healing Fields, because I would rather talk to them personally. But if they don't want to, then please have them reach out their lawyer's information so I can reach out to them, because I will be coming out to file the lawsuit. I'd much rather, like Walmart or anything else, I always give someone a chance the first time. Come on, let's talk. You know, I said some things to the Healing Fields in the beginning that I apologize for, and this, that, and the other. But hopefully by them hearing this and everything, they will understand. They were told a lot of lies and stuff. I was being played like they were being played. We both were being played by this guy. And if they can see past that and whatnot, and they're man enough to say, hey, we made a mistake. No, we didn't refund your money or nothing. No, we don't have no proof we refunded. We didn't send this letter. Whatever. I don't care. If they just want to come to terms like human beings and set things straight, I'm more than willing to do that without going to court. But I will go the other way, because remember, that's what they say and accuse me of all the time. I'm Sue 420 Jim. You know, they've accused me of 20 lawsuits in 10 years, so I've got 15 to file. And sadly, that will be one if I have to. But clearing my name and having that gavel come down for $1 is the biggest victory. Just like I sued Awesome Possum. Little town. Little hometown and all. No, I didn't get $5,000 or nothing, but I did get $500, and I got that gavel down in my favor, and that's all I'm after when I bring this to the Healing Fields. So hopefully somebody will tag the Healing Fields in this. Hopefully you friends of mine at the Healing Fields and stuff will see this. The ones that are on the border, you know, maybe Randy Ritter, Trent Rhodes, whoever you are. Maybe you see through the bullshit now. I hope Robin sees this. Remember, as always, peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand. And if we try, folks, we can all get along. My fur babies, Jack and Lulu, love you. I love you, and Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.